Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Thursday, February 29th, 2024. Let's take a look at the chart. Start with the big picture, work our way into the day itself. Just a reminder, well, if you've been watching the series now for the last few months, you know that we were anticipating the 251.768 month channel top before testing it in late December. And when we were testing it in late December, we mentioned how you should allow for a full bearish rotation over the following 3 to 5 months back to channel support at 168.82 this week. It was in the low to mid 170s at that time. And so that did occur inside of 2 months, actually. And now that we've tested channel support, we're mentioning once again just the opposite, which is to say over the next 2 to 3 to 5 months, you should allow upward retracement to 251.76. Now, there's no sort of clarifying buy signal in play just yet. That would come with a settlement tomorrow, end of the week, above 207.83, this new descending 1/3 speed line. I say new because it's based in part on the low that was put out a month ago. That's about how new it is. It also uses the July 23 high. In other words, it is nothing more than a 1/3 0.333 upside retracement off that low from a month ago. The trend line or speed line is built by projecting off that July 23 high. It drops and intersects at the 0.33 mark in the time frame in which the low is made. It's about as simple as that. In any event, 207.83 is a trend defining resistance level. We've come quite close to testing it this week, almost within 1% of 207.83. And on the daily chart, yes, within 1% of the same line study on the daily chart that comes in at 206.19 today. So we are in the zone of resistance. I can't say that we've tested it outright, but I am saying that holding below 206.19 does now allow over the next 3 to 5 weeks 169.28. We do need to close above not only 206.19, but tomorrow above the weekly version at 207.83. If we can close tomorrow, Friday, above 207.83, and yes, that should be by a 1% margin, that would be a 209.90 settlement on Friday or higher, then we have what I would consider to be a 2 to 3 month buy signal or sooner into the low 250s. This could be accelerated. It could be within 3 to 5 weeks, or it could take the better part of 2 or 3 months. Either way, we would expect the low 250s within 3 months or sooner. 251.76 to 253.49, able to absorb buying on a monthly, possibly quarterly basis. And once again, we could fall away from there. As I've been saying, we could trade inside of this well-defined channel for months to come. But we are not expecting, as a sort of clarifying buy signal, the low 250s unless we close above this speed line. Until then, as we've been mentioning, following the testing of channel support, we'd mentioned how you could anticipate that 207.83 speed line as a 3 to 5 week target. And we've realized it now. We haven't tested it exactly, but we've pushed into the 1% zone, at least on the daily version of 206.19, and below which this market can fall back to 169.28. In fact, while we don't have a clear sell signal that is indicating 169.28, it is enough of a possibility holding below 206.19 that you can prepare for it. In other words, if you've been or you are a 3 to 5 week swing trader and you've been long since testing channel support in the low 170s at that time, holding out for 206.19 or 207.83 on the weekly chart, you can begin scaling out of the long position if you haven't already, and in turn reach perhaps for 170 strike out of the money puts that don't expire. I would go a couple of months out on this. I consider this a 3 to 5 week play to the downside. Once again, it is not a clear-cut sell signal yet, unless we were to close in the next couple of weeks below 181.90. So it is a bit stair step all the way down. First and foremost, we've got 191.97. This is kind of our 3 to 5 day swing trade channel structure. So from 206.19, we can fall back to 191.97, bottom out here for the day, talking to day traders, and perhaps into next week, talking to 3 to 5 day swing traders back into the 206, 207.83 region over the following 3 to 5 days. If we close below 190, 197, we're probably just a few days away from testing 180, 180. This extreme channel bottom spanning some 3 weeks now, able to contain weekly selling pressures, as you can see. And from here, we could round back up within a week or two to 206.19. That's why I give 169.28 every bit of 3 to 5 weeks to play out, because we can bottom out at 190, 197 for 3 to 5 days, 180, 190 for a full week or more, and so forth and so on. So, as we violate these levels, if we violate these levels to the downside, those of you who have reached for those 170 or 165 strike out of the money puts are breathing a further sigh of relief as the market is approaching your target. But, short-term traders, 3 to 5 day swing traders, as I say, can sell 206.19 and buy back 190, 197 and vice versa. They could sell the 207.83 and buy back at 181.90, talking to 1 to 2 week swing traders. And, 3 to 5 week swing traders can buy back at 169.28. 169.28 on the weekly chart comes in at 168.82. And this zone well suited to contain selling through March trade, into April trade, into later Q2, and from here we can round back up. But I do think after having tested this channel support, I've mentioned all along how the low 250s are sort of drawing the market. There's no buy signal at play, but I would not be surprised to see a settlement. I don't know about this week, tomorrow, but certainly over the next few weeks perhaps, or sooner, a settlement above 207.83. And if that does occur tomorrow, Friday, 209.90 settlement or higher, no good reason to be short Tesla as we move through the month of March. We should see continued higher highs and pushing into the low 250s within 2 to 3 months of closing above 207.83. 207.83 is a solid pivot point through the month of March, above which the low 250s anticipated within several months, below which we can quite easily fall back to the 168.82 formation. Speaking of 168.82, I will also mention, as I have before, in terms of a long-term sell signal, that would come with a settlement below that 168.82 channel bottom, which is not going to happen today, not going to happen this week, not going to happen between now and the end of next week, but could perhaps over the next 3 to 5 weeks. And once again, that would be a 1% threshold this week of 167.13 settlement price at the end of the week or lower does indicate the mid-90s and dropping. And so, that would be that. We'll be talking a lot about that if we approach that 168.82 area. I'm going to go back to this chart for today, leave you with this image. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. This week, we've put out 2 stock picks. Google, Alphabet Incorporated, and Macy's went out on Wednesday, both of which are showing opportunities on a multi-month basis. And we have all the parameters to show for how to execute that trade, where to pull the trigger, and what the targets are. So check out wickedstocks.com. You can see it all for free by signing up for a subscription. You've got 5 days to check out everything. And if you don't like what you see, you can bow out at no cost to you whatsoever. You also get the daily Triple Q and SPY report with that subscription, weekly analysis in the NASDAQ 100, S&P 500, and the long bond TLT. I'm going to leave it at that for Thursday's Tesla. You have a great day.